The revolution will now be televised.
We are live on the set for another episode of the Delgados podcast. And when I tell you you're in for a good one today, you are in for a good one. We have one of one. And when I say one of one, I mean the one, not the two. And when you think about this genre, and the genre I'm speaking of is freestyle, this woman is known as the queen. Not the princess, but the queen. She has the longevity, she has the music, she has the hits to prove it. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you. It is my pleasure, it is my immense pleasure to introduce you to the incomparable, amazing, beautiful Judy Torres.
Wow, I could go home now. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Listen, Judy, estamos humilde. I'm humbled to be here with you. It is such a pleasure to be sitting here with one of my favorite artists that literally, and me and Jibo, our musical director, were speaking about this weeks ago when we knew you were coming on. We were like, this is someone that we've watched perform at Heartthrob. Someone we've seen that, listen, that's how old me and him are. Someone we've seen at Roseland. I mean, we've literally watched you perform hundreds of times. Just the other day, he was at your show in Brooklyn. He went to the show in Brooklyn because he lives not too far. And he said, Cass, you know what? Send me the address. I'm pulling up. Le mandé la dirección. And sure enough, he sent me a pic from there like, yo, here she go on stage. I'm here.
Wow.
Like,
well, thank you.
Like we,
It was amazing.
we are lifelong fans. We thank you, and we are humbled to be in your presence today.
Thank you. My pleasure. I'm humbled as well.
Amen. Thanks for pulling up. This woman has a career spanning more than 30 years, still extremely active in the field, booked and busy. And I'm talking in every single genre. We're talking, well, let's start at the top. We are sitting here next to a published author. We are sitting here next to a published author, which we're going to get into in a minute.
I'm so happy.
But aside from being a published author, you're talking about a model, an actress, a writer, a musician. I don't know what else to say. I mean, every component of entertainment, this woman is active in that field. Judy, I ask you this. More than 30 years of longevity. What do you attribute that longevity to? If you had to single something out and say, well, David, this is why it's lasted so long.
It's the fans. It's the fans. It's lasted this long because the fans keep coming to the shows. They love the music. They support the music. You know, freestyle never, I say this on stage a lot, freestyle never had a Grammy Award. We weren't part of the MTV VMAs or anything like that. It's strictly the people that keep it alive. So I would definitely give it to the people first, for sure.
It's the love for the music, the love that the people have for the music. And when I think about the genre of freestyle, I was going to make note of that later on in the episodes. But you kind of went there now, so I'm going to go there. While it didn't have the same commercial appeal as other genres, the fans truly love this music.
Yeah.
They love it. You'll be performing until you're 100 years old. You'll be on stage singing, I love you and you love me. because
From your mouth to God's ears.
Yes, listen. Yes, because people are going to show up, Judy. The music is timeless. The music is timeless. It's never going to go away. You're never going to reach a point in your career where you're not going to be booked.
I really hope you mean.
No, listen.
Right. I mean, the good thing is that the parents have shared that music with their kids.
That love of because you heard what my wife just said.
And now they're grandparents and they're sharing it with their grandkids. And so as we perform in these big arenas and things like that, the fans that come up to us are younger and younger. And I see these like kids, like 18, 19 years old in the audience. And I think to myself, they got dragged here. But then I look out in the corner of my eye, I see them mouthing the words to the song. I'm like, oh, wow, they really do know it. So it's a huge compliment Big compliment. Big shout out to the parents and grandparents. Huepa.
You heard her, huepa. Now, te voy a preguntar esto. To ask you this, right? When you think about your career, and I know that modeling is something that recently came into your life.
At 54.
Wow. And you're only 56 now. So
I'm 58 now.
Are you serious?
I am.
58.
And next year makes 40 years performing.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Crazy, right?
Boricua don't crack.
Yes, they do.
They say black don't crack, Boricua don't crack.
Boricua cracks, but a little bit.
Nah, Bori don't crack. So they say that the Puerto Rican woman has the perfect DNA. You've heard that before. Clinically.
I'm going to share something with you that some people don't know. I'm also half Cuban.
Oh, I never knew that.
My father's from Havana.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
But my mother raised me. She's from Santurce.
Okay.
And I was raised, the majority of the people in my neighborhood were all Boricuas. So.
Right. You grew up.
I don't deny that part of me.
Right. You grew up Rican, but you got some Cuban blood in you.
Grew up Rican, but there's somewhere in the back there's some black beans.
I won't hold that against you.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm not going to hold that against you.
Stick together. That's it.
Just kidding, my love. But it's like all these different things, Freestyle, a love story. Tell me a little bit about that.
So a few years ago, I participated in a charity event for Judy Reyes, who's an actress. She's on Scrubs, and she's on an ABC show that the name keeps escaping me. And so they were holding a fundraiser, and her husband, George Valencia, called me, and I did the fundraiser with them. We had a great time. We played Cards Against Humanity, where the fans could auction off the ability to play with you on your team.
Okay.
So that was cool. It was really great. Lots of celebrities there. And it was hard for me to believe that Judy Reyes was a fan. And so a few years later, George Valencia was working on a show. He was writing a show, and he said, hey, can you just for fun, can you share some experiences, bad and good, in performing? So I was telling him some things, and he goes, did that really happen to you? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh my God. He's like, forget it. I want to forget about the pilot. I want to do a documentary on freestyle. So we worked on a trailer. We worked on and they shopped it around. We had a lot of big names, and for some reason the big wigs said no. So George was like, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep this going? So he wrote a play called Freestyle, a Love Story with Lydia Ramirez, and it's about a couple who fall in love when they're kids, and they fall in love because they love freestyle. So you watch their love story develop, and the whole time they talk to the audience. And just like freestyle rose and then kind of fell, so did their marriage. Oh. So you follow the whole thing and the tragedy and it's a beautiful, beautiful love story. And so years later, they go to the freestyle Radio City extravaganza, and they bump into each other after they've been divorced. So the question becomes, if you ran into the one that got away, what would you do? But the story's told through the music of freestyle. And we have dancers. It's very interactive with the audience. So I love it. So I came on board initially as a cast member, and then I was asked to be a producer on it. I'm very proud. So we're going to, on November 6th, we're going to perform it in Los Angeles for the first time. And hopefully in December, we're going to be in New Jersey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's awesome. It's
yeah,
great.
It is. That's awesome. Now, I kind of want to get into No Reason to Cry, a memoir. And, I had the pleasure of reading an advanced copy that she shared with me so I could prepare for this interview.
You read it for real?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you can ask these two gentlemen. I'm really serious about doing my research.
You read it quick because I sent it to you not that long ago.
So I paraphrased, you know what I mean?
No, it's good.
So
it's good. It's fine.
I'll share my method with you and the audience. I read 5 pages from each chapter.
Wow, okay.
That's how I go through the book.
Okay.
I read the first 5 pages of each chapter.
Okay.
And that's how I prepare. Because I do...
But what if the juicy stuff is at the end of the chapter?
I do so many interviews, Judy. It's hard.
I can imagine.
I do a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So, but that being said, No Reason to Cry, a memoir. How did it come about? What was your thought process when you were like, you know what? I'm going to write a book? Because publishing a book is a huge accomplishment in itself. Yeah. Aside from being, as popular as you are as a singer, an actress, a model. Like, where did Judy Torres find the time to write this book, and how long did it take?
So that's a very layered question, but I think basically probably since I was about 26, I wanted to write a book, and I wanted to write my memoir, and I had a suicide attempt in my 20s, and
where you tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, I documented everything. As soon as I came out the hospital, I wrote about everything, and I thought initially that's what I'm going to write the book about, and then I kind of let it go, and then throughout the years, anytime something would happen, I would write more, and then I would kind of let it go. And so finally, one of my friends said, Judy, you're in your 50s now. Time is flying. The time to do everything is now. Stop waiting. And so after the one woman show, I thought, okay, let me get this together. And then it's pretty much like the universe knew that I wanted to write this book. And so I had met my attorney for the first time. I told him I was interested in writing a book. And then he said to me, I don't know, if, like last year, hey, Judy, I remember you mentioned you wanted to write a book. And I said, yeah. He goes, well, I just signed a literary agent. Maybe you want to meet him. So I said, okay, I'll meet him. So we got on the phone maybe 15 minutes later. And then he said, oh, I have a few publishers, but there's one publisher I'm interested in introducing you to. Would you like to speak to him today? And I said, sure, this afternoon. Okay, fine. I thought it was a call, but it was a Zoom. So I'm sitting down by my laptop, and all of a sudden I see the email, and I'm like, oh, I got 20 minutes to look good from the waist up. So I run into the room, and I get dressed and everything.
You start doing your makeup and stuff.
Just run back and act like, like I've been like this all day. Right. And I get on the Zoom with the publisher, the literary agent, and my attorney. And I told him a little bit about myself, and then he said, okay, pitch me your story. And I wasn't ready for that. But I told myself, act as if, because this is the only shot you're going to get.
This is the opportunity.
So I told him, concisely what I thought my book was going to be about. And then he's like, this is the kind of story I want. What do you have written? Thank God. I was like, I have 117 pages written, but I'm not finished. He said, send me that. Let me see what you got. And he wrote me back, and he called me, and he said, would you like to use a ghostwriter? I said, nope, this has to be from me. And so he said, okay, no problem. Finish writing it and let's do it. You've got a deal. And it happened like in less than a week. It was so fast. I mean, not the writing, but the call, the agreement, the contract. And then it took me about maybe 4 months to finish it. Yeah.
Now I ask you this. Hardships.
Many.
Right? Hardships prepare ordinary people for extraordinary things, right?
That's my quote. Well, it's not my quote, but I used it in the book.
But no, yeah.
Yeah.
And I want you to expound on that a little bit. What do you mean by that, Judy?
Well, you can look at the things that happen to you as trauma. You could look at it as you being victimized. You could look at it as it's not fair. Or you can say, instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You can ask, how is this happening for me? And when you do that, you put the power back in your own hands. So from that, hardships prepare you for the next part of your life. They teach you lessons. Your job is to pay attention and to figure out what those lessons are. Because if you don't, more hardships will happen. You'll keep having the same relationship over and over again with a different face until you realize, wait a minute, this is my pattern. This is my issue. I have to fix it. So it prepares you for everything in the future. Like when I look back now, everything that has happened to me, both good and bad, has prepared me for sitting here with you. I'm really grateful, really grateful.
Now I ask you this, right? What we're going to do right here
is go back.
Way back.
Back into time.
Back into time. Build on that a little bit.
Well, now at the age of 58, I believe in being more present than ever.
Like in the moment.
Like stay in the moment.
That's what
be
you mean,
mindful.
like staying in the moment, enjoying what's taking place.
Try not to look back too much. Try not to be too worried about the future, because none of that helps. However, one of the ways you get to show how much you appreciate life is when you think back. And so being raised in the Bronx was like the best thing that could have happened to me. Even though there were some hard times.
I was going there next.
There were some hard times, but it was all worth it. All worth it. Because everything that's happened has prepared me. And I'm able to help people because of the things that have happened to me.
To be from the Bronx means I've been equipped with all I need to succeed, which is something you just touched on. Now, when you say that, explain to me what being from that place geographically has put into you that has given you everything that you need. Because she didn't say a little bit, Jibo. She didn't say a little bit, Jay. She said the Bronx put everything that she needs in her to succeed. Explain that to me.
Everything. I'm sure when everyone thinks of where they come from, there's pride, and there should be. You should be proud of where you come from. But there's something really unique about the Bronx. There is a, at least the section I lived in.
Which was?
I grew up on 182nd and Crotona Parkway.
Okay.
Near the Bronx Zoo.
I'm very familiar.
And I was there until I was about 15, and then I lived on 194th and Marion.
Okay.
And I was there till I was 19, and then I went to Parkchester. But in the Crotona Parkway area, a lot of people were in survival mode. They
the
were
hood.
Just making it, just scratching by.
Barely getting by.
Barely getting by. And so there was a fear and sometimes a pessimism, but there was also heart. They loved hard. Everything they did was 100%. If they were angry, 100%.
They all in.
But if you needed help, they were there for you, 100%.
They all in.
So to me, the heart of the people of the Bronx is just beautiful. Just beautiful. The food, the, oye, que número salió? Everything. It was awesome. The people have heart. And it was everything from the block parties and sitting on the fire escape and that one neighbor that always had her head out the window. That.
La Presenta, right? Every neighborhood
had one.
Yeah.
You know, the woman who refused to take the bata off no matter what she did.
La Bochinchosa.
You know,
Right.
We had an abandoned building across the street from us that we played in.
Which is common in the Bronx, yeah.
And I think about it and I'm like, Mom, why did you let me do that? She was like, all of you were doing it. Oh my God, I would never.
If you grew up in the Bronx at that time, that was common.
Yeah.
The Bronx looked like a battlefield.
Yeah.
Landlords had torched their own properties so that they could collect insurance. And, you know, the neighborhood was transitioning.
Yeah.
All of the Italians, the Irish, and the Jews were moving out of the Bronx, and the Hispanics that were touching down from Puerto Rico and Cuba and Dominican Republic were landing there. So, you know, the neighborhood was changing. It was a challenging time. The 70s and the 80s, challenging time for Hispanics.
But I didn't know. In my mind, I didn't, you know, as a kid, you don't think this is an abandoned building. This is dangerous. You go, ooh, let me see what I can find.
This is a playground.
Yeah.
This is a playground.
And across the street from us, we had, I'll call it a park, but it wasn't a park. It was a sidewalk that had a couple of chess tables that were broken with benches that didn't have all the slats, some poles, a little bit of grass, and a few trees. I went there recently, and it looks much better now. They renovated it. It looks really good, actually.
Yeah, the Bronx has changed. Putting a lot of money into the Bronx. They're gentrifying it. Now they want to take it back from us. First they abandoned it, now they want to snatch it back. A lot of development taking place in the Bronx. Swedish proverb. Those who wish to sing, find a song.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Judy?
Well, I wish I had quoted it, but it's basically, I wanted to sing so bad. You find a reason, you find a way. You know, growing up with a single mom of 5, I was the oldest. Mom didn't really have the money. My father was around, he was in and out of my life, but he really wasn't financially supportive at all. So I knew I wanted to be a singer, but it's like, how? How am I going to do it? And so thanks to the New York Public Library, I would go to look at the records and I would rent musicals because I loved musicals. And I would bring them home and I would make up the story. because I couldn't afford to go see a musical. So I would say, oh, chorus line, all right, I think it's about these people and they're trying to get a job. And I would just imagine in my bedroom. And that was my escape. That was my escape from any hardship growing up as a kid. And I just knew very early on that I wanted to be a singer. So I think if you really want to sing bad enough, you'll find something to sing or something to sing about.
Now, you're from the Bronx, the home of hip hop. And at this time is when hip hop was emerging, and that particular art form and genre that, we call this thing of ours was coming about. It was being birthed. What made Judy Torres say, okay, I'm not going to sing R&B. I'm not going to get into hip hop. I want to sing freestyle, because freestyle to me is a very peculiar genre. It's like, what made Judy say, you know what? This is the type of music that I'm going to create, that I'm going to make. This is my lane. How did you pick freestyle as a lane, or did freestyle pick you?
So like what had happened was,
Go ahead.
Initially,
Go ahead.
I wanted to do Broadway.
Okay.
And or be like a Puerto Rican Barbara Streisand, Whitney Houston.
Okay.
I wanted to do ballads. I love ballads.
Initially.
The sadder the songs, the more I want to do it. And that's what I was drawn to. And so I just knew I wanted to get in the music business. So I was, right after high school, there was no The Voice, there was no American Idol, all these America's Got Talent, there were none of these shows. And so you hit the pavement. And I would rip off the papers on the telephone poles that said talent showcase or whatever. And I would always perform the same song. I would perform Out Here on My Own from the movie Fame. And one day they had a gong show at this.
Why that song? Why Out Here on My Own from Fame? What did you love about that song?
Everything. I mean, first of all, every girl fell in love with Irene Cara with singing that song in the movie Fame.
Irene Cara was a
huge.
big deal.
In high school, everybody was singing all of Irene Cara songs.
Rest in peace, Irene.
Yeah.
Love rest
her.
in peace. Love Irene Cara.
Yeah, love her. And the song spoke to me. Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? Make believe in his heart alone, out here on my own. That's how I felt when I was a kid.
And she was one of the first Latinas that I can remember that had that superstardom, that level of success. She was huge.
Yeah.
Irene Cara is huge to the culture. Very significant artist. I'm really glad you mentioned her, because people forget the important contribution that she made to the culture. Continue.
Oh no, I was crazy. I was crazy about her.
Yeah.
So I forgot the question.
The question was, how did...
See, I'm in my 50s now. See?
Right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Question was, how did you choose freestyle, or did freestyle choose you?
So I'm at Side Street one day, and I'm singing Out Here on My Own for this gong show. And I realize everybody's good. When you have a gong show, the whole point is that someone's going to be bad so the judges can gong you. So I decided that on purpose, I would sing a song like Edith Brunker.
On purpose?
Songs that made the hit parade. So I sang like that.
Right.
And one of the judges got up to gong me. And thankfully, the other judges knew that
you were playing around?
I was playing around.
Okay.
So then I sang Out Here on My Own. And afterward, the same gentleman who was going to gong me, his name was George Vascones, he came up to me and he said, I want to help you. I want to help you with the music business. And I said, I don't have any money. And he said, I don't have any money either. I just want to help you.
Just randomly?
Just came
up to you, so just
so
walked
said,
up to
okay.
you.
So he says, okay, so this is the deal. I'm going to get you shows, and if I don't get you something paid in 6 months, you can walk away. But if I do get you a paid show, I get 20%. I said, okay, fine. So he starts getting me these little gigs and little clubs and stuff. And then one day he says to me, you're never going to make it unless you do an original song. I'm like, duh, I know that. So he says, I got a friend named Mickey. He's looking for some singers. Maybe you can, audition for him. So
let me ask you this really quick. When you were doing these shows at these random clubs, what songs were you performing?
Saving All My Love.
Okay, so you were doing hits.
I was doing Whitney Houston covers and Out Here on My Own.
Okay.
And it was like the worst choices ever because you don't go into a club to sing a ballad.
Right.
You go into a club to keep people dancing.
Right, but you were doing it anyway.
That's what I was doing.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what I wanted,
Okay.
I was trying to reflect what I wanted. And so I auditioned for Mickey, And he was quiet, and I got scared. You know, silence scares me. So I'm like, what? And he goes, when are we going to go get in the studio? So he gives me this song called Love's Gonna Get You. And my attitude was, I'll sing anything to get into the music business. I will do country if I have to, whatever it takes.
You were trying to get it popping.
Whatever I got to do, right? Because you only get one shot. That's one thing I've learned. Opportunities usually don't knock twice. So I'm listening to this song called Love's Gonna Get You. I liked it. It was okay. But I didn't think it was good for my voice. I didn't think it suited me. I didn't think I could sing it well. That's my honest opinion.
Okay.
And so Mickey was working with two other singers, C-Bank at the time. And she had I Won't Stop Loving You and Vicki Ryan. And so the three of us are at George's house with Mickey the day before we're going to record. And we're listening to each other's demos. But Mickey sang on the demos. That's the funny part. And so I hear Vicky's song. And I'm like, wow, the message to that song that's an amazing song. So I walk up to her and said, oh my God, I love your song. She goes, really? I like your song. I said, you don't like your song? She goes, it's okay. So I said, you want to switch? She's like, yeah, let's switch. So I go over to Mickey. Mickey, do you mind if we switch? He goes, I don't care as long as somebody records it. So Vicky recorded Love's Gonna Get You, and I recorded No Reason to Cry. And that's how I got in. I never meant to do freestyle intentionally, and it wasn't even called freestyle when I first started.
What was it called? Dance music?
Nothing.
There was no lane for it.
In the very beginning, it was just music. And then people have to put a label on everything.
That's
so
life.
They called it Latin freestyle. They called it Latin hip hop initially.
That's what I thought.
Then Latin freestyle, and then just freestyle.
See, that's what I thought. And like people that I speak to in your genre, every time I ask them how the name freestyle came about, they all say what you said. They said at first this was just Latin hip hop.
Yep. Yeah. I remember when Billboard had put out an issue, and on the front cover it was something along the line of, what is this new music? And I think they said Latin hip hop at the time.
Speaking about freestyle.
Yeah, so it's like they had to label it. And I think labeling it was the first mistake. Why not just call it music? Why do we have to label everything? Because then once you do something and you try to do something else, you can't, because you're in that box that they've put you in.
Because human beings are uncomfortable with the unknown. We need to be able to call something something.
True.
I can't just be like, this guy is a dancer. No, he's a break dancer.
Right.
I can't just say, he's a disc jockey. No, he's a hip hop DJ. I have to label you so I feel comfortable.
Right.
And that's the thing with labels,
I get
right?
that.
Right?
I get that. I've just never liked it.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either, but that's just the nature of human beings, in my mind.
So I thought, okay, so we did No Reason to Cry. And then we were on a label called Jackie Jack.
Who wrote No Reason to Cry?
Marilyn Rodriguez.
Wrote that
along with Mickey Garcia and Mickey and Elvin Molina. Mickey Garcia and Elvin Molina produced it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had nothing to do with the writing. It was my idea to do the talking in the beginning.
Right.
There's no reason for you to cry.
Right.
And I was like, I'm 17.
Epic.
I don't know how to be sexy.
Right, epic.
So I lowered my voice. There's no reason for you to cry. I was like, oh my God.
Epic, though.
When I hear it, I'm like, what was I thinking?
Did you know right away that No Reason to Cry was going to have the success that it did?
No.
Like, did you have a feeling?
No, but I fell in love with the message of the song. And I just thought, it's a positive song. How could people not like it? It's positive.
And it wound up becoming the title of the book.
Yeah. I titled the book No Reason to Cry, and I titled my one-woman show No Reason to Cry, because of the fact that without that song, I would have nothing. Everything in my career happened because I started with No Reason to Cry. And it has a message,
Now, I'll say this, right? You've persevered through so much. You've endured so much. And here you are today. You sit resilient, thriving. And listen, se me salen las lágrimas. I'll tell you this.
There's no reason to cry.
Right. That's why I say se me salen las lágrimas. This week was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes. And Judy sends me a birthday prayer and a birthday song. I guess she makes these recordings on her cell phone, and she forwards them to me. And when I tell you, I was listening to them and I was so touched, because nowadays people barely remember your birthday. But someone that I'd never met and an artist of your stature, I was really touched by the fact that you would take time to remember my birthday, which just resonated with me. And I listened to the prayer several times, and I'm like, this is a really godly woman.
Oh,
And
thank you.
no, for real, right? A woman full of the Holy Spirit. And it's like, your relationship with God, how important is that to you, Judy?
I have nothing if I don't have a relationship with God. I have nothing if I don't have my faith. Because what is faith? Faith is believing in what you cannot see. You can't prove it, but you believe it. I think that's more important than anything. You know, even if I found out when I die that there was no God, I would still believe there's God, because believing means everything.
But you're a living, breathing, walking testament. I know there's God.
Yeah. Oh, no, definitely.
I'm a living, breathing, walking
Definitely.
testament. Jibo's a walking testament. Jay's a walking testament. We've all gone through something significant. And just thinking about what God means to me, like your prayer helped me like remember, and I was just reflecting with them prior to us starting this particular episode, like how important God is just overall in everything that you do. He leads the way. He has to come first.
Everything.
He has to come
Everything.
first.
Before I go on stage, at every show, I pray before I go on stage.
Always.
And
You never forget.
No. And if sometimes like we get there and we're running late and they rush me, even while I'm walking, I'm like, dear God, thank you so much for the opportunity to perform. You know, I just like,
You're just saying it in your mind.
I have my prayer.
Right.
Yeah, I have
Regardless.
my standard prayer.
Regardless.
Yeah. I can't go on if I don't do that. It doesn't feel right.
No, your words are so inspirational, and it's like, I did not know that you were a certified life coach.
Yeah.
And you counsel in group sessions and independently. And I want to talk about how that came about. What made you say, you know what? I feel like people will benefit from speaking with me and me sharing with them what I've gone through. Maybe I can help them get through something. Like, what led you to that?
So when I was graduating from high school, there was a lot of pressure about what college are you going to? And I knew I wanted to major in music because I loved it. I wanted a career in music. I wanted to sing. I thought that majoring in music was going to help me learn how to read music, and this way I could get into the music field in some capacity. But I also have always loved psychology. I love human behavior. I love asking what led that person to do that or say that, or why is it that 5 people can be in a bank and the bank can get robbed, right? They all had the same experience, but one will be traumatized for life. One will turn to alcohol.
One can't even remember it.
One won't remember it. One will go ahead and write a book about how they survived it. You know what I mean? And one will be like, it happened.
Everybody experiences
So everyone's
it differently.
so different. So I've always been fascinated by human behavior, especially, believe it or not, when I went to college, my favorite psychology class was abnormal psychology, which is anything from the norm. So anything from voyeurism to fetishes to psychosis to schizophrenia. I was fascinated. And I thought for a second, okay, I'm going to major in music therapy. Music therapy is a combination of both. So I thought, what better way to help people than through with music? And so there were only, at the time, it was a new major. So there were only 2 or 3 universities that were teaching it. One of them was in Ohio, Dayton University. So I wanted to go there. But I didn't want to leave mom alone. So I went to Lehman College instead. And before Lehman College, that's when all this stuff happened. So,
Wow.
you know, life takes turns. And a lot of times people focus on their decisions and they wonder if they should have done something different. And I think that everything that I decided worked, you know. I didn't finish college. I did 2.5 years of college.
Ultimately, it all worked out for you.
But my career took off, and I'm like, hey, I'm doing what I want. I don't need to go to college. I can always go back to college. That's how I
Sure.
looked at it. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still like, maybe I go to maybe I go back to school and do psychology, because it's never too late. If something's on your mind, it is never too late.
Listen, I'll ask you this as our time is coming to an end, and we're going to have to do a part 2, Judy, because I have maybe 60 questions in here that I got from the book. We don't have enough time. First and foremost, I want you to share when the book is coming out and where they can pre-order right now.
Okay, so the official release date for the book is September 29th. And if they go to noreasontocry.com,
noreasontocry.com, which will be on the bottom of the screen the entire time. Judy Torres, No Reason to Cry, the memoir. I'll tell you, just based on what I've been reading, it's a fantastic read. Amazing, amazing journey, amazing career, amazing music. I mean, phenomenal woman. Judy, I always like to ask this question of artists that have the experiences that you have. If you had to give one tip, one gem to a young aspiring artist nowadays, what would that be?
You have to be your own number one fan. You have to believe in yourself. People will believe in you to the extent that you believe in yourself. Wow. And I would also say that you're going to get a million no's. You only need one yes, right? So let's say there's 269 no's, but the 270th try is a yes. That's why you can't give up.
You got to keep going.
Because you never know when the yes is coming. And once you get the yes, you're in. And then you have a responsibility to keep it going.
Wow. See, now, that was a jewel from Judy Torres, a career spanning nearly 40 years now. She's letting these young, aspiring artists know, all these creatives know, never give up, never sell your dream out, and always be your biggest fan. Believe in you.
Wait, I'm sorry. One more thing.
Yes, my love.
You have to know who you are. Know who you are. Know what you want to represent. Know why you're doing it. Because if you don't know those things, the record companies, people in your life, management, etc., they will tell you who you are. And then one day you'll be lost and you'll be like, I don't know who I am, because you're following what everyone else thinks you should be. So make sure you understand who you are, why you're doing it, what's your intention. Not just to get famous, why are you doing it? If you don't have that solid, you'll be lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of another exciting episode of the Delgados podcast. Judy, it is with great admiration and love that we tell you thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We appreciate it this time. Let's give Judy Torres a hand.
Gracias.
I'd like to take this time to recognize our sponsor, Jack Turner Watches. These are some of the finest Swiss-made watches. You can go to jackturner.com, where you can find this model that I'm wearing. It's called the Meridian, but you can find many other fine models at jackturnerwatches.com. We out.